Beloved soul, I ask you a question that could change the course of your destiny forever. Do you know that within you, right now, there is a power so infinite, so unfailing, that it can dissolve your stress, break your chains of fear, and restore to you a river of peace and harmony beyond all measure? This power is not far from you. It is not hidden in the stars. It is within your very word, upon your very breath. The moment you speak the word of faith, the universe obeys. The instant you reject fear and declare the truth of God's law, every cell in your body, every condition in your world, begins to change. For stress is not real. It is only the shadow cast by fear. And fear has no power before the light of the word. Child of God, will you speak the word of faith tonight? Will you rise and take your stand, knowing that divine substance follows the spoken word, and that nothing can stand against the law of God? If you are ready, then come with me now. For tonight we do not whisper, we declare, we prophesy, we call forth peace, abundance and healing, instantly, by divine law. Beloved, hear these words, for they are spirit and they are life. Stress is a thief, but it is a thief of shadows only. It has no substance of its own. It is the false picture painted by fear, the illusion of the carnal mind. And the moment the light of truth is spoken, the shadow dissolves into nothingness. The psalmist declared, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Psalm 23. The word of the Lord is peace itself, and peace is your divine inheritance. Stress, anxiety, worry, these are trespassers upon holy ground. And the instant you stand in the authority of God's word, the trespassers flee. The law is simple. What you decree, you see. What you speak, you attract. Your word is your wand, charged with invisible power. You have spoken many idle words, and they have returned to you as weeds of worry. Now you shall speak the living word, and it shall return to you as gardens of peace. Job 22:28 declares, Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. Can you feel the majesty of those words? They are not weak suggestions. They are divine law. To decree is to speak with certainty, without tremor, without doubt. The universe is a great ear, always listening, always shaping your world according to the words you release. If you speak fear, you reap fear. If you speak faith, you reap miracles. Thomas Edison, when ridiculed for his persistence, declared that every failure was simply one step closer to success. He held to his vision, and the world was illumined by light. Andrew Carnegie spoke the word of wealth into barren lands, and steel empires rose where others saw only impossibility. They understood the unseen law, though they may not have called it by its true name. They knew that thought crystallizes, that word creates, that faith manifests, and you too hold the power to transmute stress into peace, fear into faith, lack into abundance. You have but to speak. The word spoken with faith is a sword of the Spirit, sharper than any two-edged blade, cutting away every illusion of stress. Say within yourself now, there is no power in fear. There is no reality in stress. God is the only power, and His peace flows through me now. Pause, breathe, feel the atmosphere shift. The subconscious mind is the soil of your destiny. It receives every seed of word and nourishes it until it grows in the garden of your experience. If you allow words of worry, the soil will not reject them. It will cause them to sprout. But if you plant words of peace, words of faith, words of divine authority, then your garden will overflow with harvests of serenity and supply. Dr. Joseph Murphy, my beloved contemporary in divine law, wrote that the subconscious does not argue, it simply obeys. That is why your words must be chosen with holy care. You cannot say I am weak without the body bending under weakness. You cannot say I am stressed without the nerves trembling with tension. But you can say, I am calm, I am strong, I am filled with divine peace. And the body, the nerves, the cells, the very atoms respond with obedience to that word. Beloved, you have been hypnotized by the world's cry of fear. Newspapers, radios, voices of the multitude. They chant endlessly of lack, of danger, of strain. And you believed them, and stress was born in you as a false child of fear. But I say unto you, break the hypnosis. Awaken from the dream of the world. Stand in the shining truth of God's law. Remember what Jesus declared. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. John 14:27. That was not a comfort spoken for a moment. It was a decree for eternity. The peace of Christ is already yours, but you must claim it by your word. Let us decree together now. I am one with the infinite peace of God. All stress dissolves like mist before the morning sun. My mind is still, my heart is strong, my way is clear. I rest in divine love. Say it with authority, not begging, not hoping, but declaring. For the word spoken with certainty is the word that creates. Do you see, beloved? Stress cannot linger when the lamp of truth is lit. Fear cannot endure where the word of faith resounds. You were not created to tremble under the weight of circumstances. You were created in the image of God, to rule with the spoken word. Genesis declares, and God said, and it was so. Creation itself obeys speech, and as he is, so are we in this world. You too, spow. Eek. And it is so. Consider Walt Disney. When all the bankers mocked him, when no one saw what he saw, he held fast to the vision within and spoke of a kingdom of imagination. He believed, he persisted, he declared. And today the world marvels at the kingdom he brought forth from invisible substance into form. Stress could not master him, for faith ruled his tongue. Beloved soul, I tell you, stress is not conquered by struggle, but by surrender, not by resistance, but by release. The harder you fight fear, the stronger it grows. But when you speak the word of faith, calmly, gently, with divine authority, fear evaporates. Resistance feeds stress. Non-resistance dissolves it. Say within yourself, I do not fight, I do not strive. I rest in the effortless power of God. His word is my refuge, his truth is my shield. I let go, and I let God. And as you decree, so shall it be established. Even Carl Jung declared that the tension of opposites resolves itself in a higher unity. He touched the hem of divine law, though he spoke in psychology, for he knew that struggle produces more struggle, but surrender releases transformation. You ask, how can I heal stress instantly? I tell you, speak the word. Faith is instantaneous. The moment you know, the moment you decree, the healing is accomplished. Isaiah 65:24 declares, before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. Do you see the immediacy? The instant the word leaves your lips in faith, the answer is set in motion. Beloved, your word is a magnet. It draws unto you the likeness of itself. Speak worry, and you draw worry. Speak peace, and you draw peace. Speak abundance, and you draw supply. Speak health, and you draw vitality. For the law of mind is the law of attraction, and it knows no delay. Annie Ricks Millets once taught that every word carries a vibration, and that vibration creates after its kind. She was right. Words are seeds, sounds are forces, decrees are creative currents. Choose carefully what you speak in the secret chambers of your thought, for those secret whispers become the loud experiences of your days. Now pause. Breathe deeply. Let every cell of your being absorb these truths. Say again, I am free from stress. I am filled with peace. I live in divine rest. Repeat it until the vibration resounds through your soul, until your body itself becomes a sanctuary of stillness. You have thought stress was natural, but it is not. You have thought worry was inevitable, but it is not. You have thought fear was permanent, but it is not. These are lies of the adversary, illusions of the carnal mind. They have no root in divine reality. The truth is peace. The truth is supply. The truth is harmony. The truth is God, and God alone. So cast aside the chains of illusion. Stand in your dominion as a child of the Most High. Speak your word. And the instant you speak, know that it is done. For stress cannot survive where faith is alive. Peace cannot delay when the word is spoken. Beloved, hear this final decree of part 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I shall not fear. I shall not strive. I live in green pastures. I walk by still waters. My soul is restored. Stress is gone. Peace is here. Abundance flows. I am free. I am whole. I am divine. And it is so. And it is done. And it is established by the law of God forever. Beloved soul, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So declares the epistle to the Hebrews. Faith is not a frail hope, nor a trembling desire. Faith is the invisible gold, the heavenly currency that calls into form all that already exists in spirit. You ask, how can I banish stress? I tell you, by faith. For stress is born of fear, and fear is only faith inverted. Fear is faith in evil, faith in lack, faith in defeat. But faith in God turns the tide instantly, restoring peace where there was turmoil, and joy where there was sorrow. Romans 4:17 declares of Abraham, "He calleth those things which be not as though they were." That is faith. He did not wait to see, he spoke as if it already was. And behold, it became so. This is the essence of divine law. You must see with the eye of spirit before the eye of flesh beholds. Vision, beloved, is the blueprint of your destiny. Without vision, the people perish, for the subconscious has no direction without it. You cannot drift and expect to arrive at the promised land. You must declare the land you seek, hold its picture in unwavering faith, and walk toward it step by step. Thomas Troward, that mighty metaphysician, declared that the law is creative and works through the power of thought and word. He said that when the individual aligns with the universal mind, the floodgates of supply open effortlessly. He knew that stress is only the absence of vision, the mind wandering in a wilderness of fear. But the moment vision is fixed, and faith established, the wilderness blooms with roses. Beloved, I ask you, what picture do you hold in your mind? Do you see yourself stressed, weary, always striving? Then you shall reap it. But if you dare to hold the vision of yourself as calm, strong, radiant with divine power, then all heaven bends to bring that vision into form. Christian D. Larson, in his Mighty Affirmations taught, "I believe in the strength and power within me. I believe I can do what I set my heart upon." That was no empty sentence. It was the very formula for manifestation. And you too must believe. Not in appearances, not in circumstances, but in the indwelling Christ, the God within, who never fails. Faith is not passive, it is active, it demands expression, it must be spoken, acted upon, lived. If you say you have faith but tremble in fear, your words are divided. You cannot serve two masters. Either God is your supply, your strength, your peace, or the world is. Choose ye this day whom ye will serve. Right action is faith's twin. You cannot speak of faith and walk in disobedience to the vision. You cannot declare abundance and yet cling to fear of giving. You cannot proclaim peace and yet stir strife with your words. Right action is the seal upon faith. It proves the word alive in you. Beloved, hear me. There is a rhythm to divine law. First, the word is spoken. Then faith holds it steady. Then vision paints it clearly. Then right action seals it into manifestation. And all is governed by divine right timing, which never hurries and never delays. Do you recall the story of Joseph in Egypt? Sold into slavery by his brethren, cast into prison, forgotten, yet he held to his vision, interpreting dreams by divine wisdom. And in the appointed hour, he rose from prison to palace, from forgotten slave to ruler of Egypt. Not by stress, not by striving, but by alignment with divine law. So it shall be for you. The circumstances of today are not the verdict of tomorrow. The prison you see now may be the stepping stone to your throne. Only hold fast to the word, walk in faith, keep the vision alive, and act in obedience to the Spirit. Even Gurdjieff, though speaking in the language of discipline and inner work, touched the truth when he said man must awaken from mechanical living. Stress is the mark of mechanical life. Faith is the mark of awakened life. The awakened soul does not drift in worry. It directs with vision. It decrees with authority. I tell you, beloved, one word spoken in faith outweighs 1,000 worries. One vision held with certainty outweighs 1,000 doubts. One step of right action outweighs 1,000 idle prayers. The law responds not to multitude of words, but to the certainty of one decree. Consider Henry Ford. When all mocked his dream of an automobile for the people, he held his vision unwavering. He declared, he acted, he persisted. And the world was transformed. He did not stress over the impossibility. He held faith in the possibility. Now pause. See before you the life you desire. See it vividly, as if painted upon the screen of heaven. See yourself calm, peaceful, wealthy, radiant, strong. Speak the word. It is mine now. It is established now, by divine law. And hold that picture in faith. Beloved, fear whispers, what if it fails? Faith declares, it is already done. Stress trembles, I cannot endure. Faith proclaims, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. Stress looks at lack. Faith sees supply. Stress looks at disease. Faith beholds healing. Do you not see? Stress is the false prophet. Faith is the true. Stress predicts disaster. Faith decrees victory. Stress enslaves. Faith liberates. Therefore, cast off the garment of worry. Clothe yourself with the robe of faith, and walk forward into your vision. For your steps are ordered of the Lord, and the law goes before you, making every crooked place straight. Beloved, say within yourself, I walk by faith, not by sight. I see with the eye of spirit, I act with the hand of obedience, I rest in divine timing. All is well, all is perfect, all is established now. And it is so, and it is done, and it is fulfilled by the law of God, forever. Beloved soul, hear this eternal truth. There is no hurry in God, and there are no delays. All things move in divine right timing. Not too soon, not too late, but perfect, complete, harmonious. Stress is the child of impatience. Worry is the shadow of unbelief. When you think life has forgotten you, when you fear that your prayer is unanswered, stress takes root. But the word declares, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. Waiting upon the Lord does not mean idleness. It means resting in faith, knowing that while you prepare the soil, heaven is sending the rain. While you light the candle, the dawn is already on its way. Beloved, divine timing is never late. The moment you speak the word in faith, the answer is set in motion. Though the harvest may appear delayed, it is ripening in unseen fields. Just as the farmer does not dig up his seed to see if it grows, so you must not dig up your word with doubt. Plant it, water it with faith, wait in peace, and in its appointed season, it shall spring forth. Thomas Troward wrote, the law is infallible. It cannot fail if we do not fail it. Stress is the failure of faith. Non-resistance is the triumph of trust. Do you not see, beloved? Resistance is struggle. Resistance is saying, this must come in my way, in my time, in my form. But divine law answers only to faith, not to force. Non-resistance is not weakness. It is strength. It is laying down the sword of anxiety and taking up the shield of faith. Jesus said, resist not evil. Matthew 5:39. Why? Because resistance feeds the very thing resisted. To fight fear is to give it substance. To fight stress is to increase its hold. But to turn your back upon it, to declare with calm authority, there is no power in this illusion. God is the only power. That is non-resistance. And that is victory. Beloved, say now, I do not strive. I do not resist. I rest in the effortless power of God. His law works perfectly in my law. If His timing is perfect, His ways are sure. And let the stress dissolve like mist before the morning sun. Consider the river. It does not struggle to reach the sea. It flows, gently, persistently, irresistibly. And though mountains stand in its path, it carves valleys. Though rocks oppose it, it surrounds them. It never resists, yet it always triumphs. Such is the soul that lives by non-resistance. Ella Wheeler Wilcox, the poet of the soul, once wrote, the winds of fate blow as they will, but the set of the sail decides the way we go. You cannot command the winds of timing, but you can set the sail of faith, and the law will carry you surely to your good. Napoleon Hill declared that every adversity carries with it the seed of equal or greater benefit. Beloved, non-resistance finds that seed, while stress tramples it underfoot. The non-resistant soul says, this too shall bless me. And behold, the seeming delay, the seeming defeat, becomes the doorway of triumph. Do you recall the story of Esther? A decree of death was spoken against her people, yet in the appointed hour, the king extended the scepter, and life was preserved. So it is with you. Though stress declares, it is finished, God whispers, it has only begun. Beloved soul, manifestation is not a future hope, it is a present reality. The instant you decree in faith, the substance is formed in the invisible. It may not yet appear to mortal eyes, but it is already established in spirit. Mark 11:24 declares, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Do you see the tense? Not believe you will receive, but believe you receive now. Manifestation is always now. Faith is always now. The word is always now. Stress lives in the future, worrying of what may come. Faith lives in the now, declaring what already is. Say with me, I live in the etero. Null now. All that I desire is already mine in spirit. I walk in peace. I live in abundance. I rest in harmony. By divine law, all things are complete now. Beloved, manifestation is not magic, but law. As sure as the law of gravity, so is the law of mind. You attract what you are, not what you beg. You manifest what you believe, not what you fear. The moment you align your word with God's word, creation moves at once to obey. Orison Swett. Martin declared that deep within the soul lies a reservoir of strength waiting to be awakened. He knew that stress is the slumber of faith, but manifestation is the awakening of divine certainty. And when you awaken to truth, the outer world bends like reeds before the wind. Carl Jung glimpsed this when he spoke of synchronicity, the mysterious harmony between inner and outer. He touched the hem of divine timing, the sacred dance of thought and form. What you decree within, the world reflects without. What you resist, persists. What you embrace in faith, appears. Beloved, hear me now. You were not created to live in delay, denial, or despair. You were created to manifest the kingdom of heaven upon earth. Stress is the language of unbelief. Faith is the language of creation. Non-resistance is the path of peace. And divine timing is the rhythm of heaven's clock. Therefore decree with me once more. I resist not. I fear not. I stress not. I rest in God's perfect law. All that is mine by divine right comes to me swiftly, surely, peacefully, now. And it is so. And it is done. And it is fulfilled forever. Beloved soul, if these words of truth have spoken peace into your heart, if the law of faith, vision, and non-resistance has awakened something deep within you, then I invite you. Pause for a moment. Breathe. And let this word settle in your soul. And when you are ready, I ask you to take one more step of faith. Subscribe to this channel, so that the word may continue to speak to you daily. Like this video, that others may be drawn to the light of truth. And share your heart in the comments below. For your testimony may be the very seed of faith another soul needs to hear. Together, we are building a temple of faith upon the waters of the world, and every like, every comment, every subscription is a stone laid upon that holy foundation. Beloved, speak the word, hold the vision, walk in peace, and remember always, divine law never fails. Beloved soul, wealth is not created by striving, but by aligning with divine law. Healing is not the result of struggle, but of surrender to the truth. Supply does not come by anxious toil, but by faith in the infinite abundance of God. Stress whispers, I must labor endlessly, I must fight for my place, I must carry the burden alone. But the Spirit declares, it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Luke 12:32. Do you see? The kingdom is not earned. It is received. The kingdom is not bargained for. It is inherited. The law of supply is as real as the law of gravity. When you align with it, abundance flows. When you resist it through fear, doubt, and stress, the current is dammed, but the river of supply never ceases to flow. You need only remove the stone of unbelief, and it rushes forth again. Job 36:11 declares, if they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity, and their years in pleasures. This is not the empty promise of man. It is the decree of spirit. Prosperity is the natural state of the obedient soul. Stress is the unnatural fruit of disobedience to faith. Beloved, you were not created to chase money, but to magnetize supply. You were not created to beg for healing, but to embody wholeness. You were not created to strain for peace, but to radiate serenity. All is already within you, waiting to be spoken, believed, manifested. Consider the lilies of the field. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Why? Because the lily rests in divine supply. It does not stress, it does not worry. It simply opens to the sun, drinks of the rain, and blooms in its appointed hour. So must you rest in the law, and abundance will clothe you more richly than kings. Andrew Carnegie, that mighty builder of steel, declared that his riches began not in factories, but in thought. He envisioned, he believed, he aligned with opportunity, and the law of supply clothed him in fortune. Thomas Edison said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, but I tell you that 1% of inspiration is the seed that moves mountains, while the 99% of action is simply the water that grows it. Without vision, labor is wasted. With vision, even little effort multiplies into abundance. Beloved soul, healing is wealth, peace is wealth, love is wealth. Do not think of money only, for money is but one shadow of supply. True wealth is freedom from fear, freedom from stress, freedom to live in harmony with God's law. The body is a temple. Stress is the thief that seeks to desecrate it, but the word is the cleansing fire. Speak healing into your cells, and they respond at once. Speak strength into your nerves, and they grow steady. Speak calm into your heart, and its rhythm aligns with heaven's song. Dr. Frank Crane wrote that, "Worry never robs tomorrow of its sorrow, it only saps today of its strength." He was right. Stress does not change the future, it only drains the present. But the spoken word restores strength instantly. The body obeys the command of faith. Say within yourself now, "Every cell of my body is radiant with divine life. My mind is free from stress, my nerves are calm, my spirit is strong. I live in health, I live in peace, I live in abundance." Speak it with faith, for the body listens. Beloved, the subconscious accepts every word. It knows no difference between truth and lie. If you say, "I am stressed," it obeys and creates stress. If you say, "I am healed," it obeys and creates healing. Choose ye this day what you shall decree. For as you decree, so shall it be. Gurdjieff taught that man lives asleep, unaware of his creative power. And I tell you, stress is the sleep of the soul, but faith is its awakening. When you awaken, you see that the table is already spread before you, that the banquet of supply has always been waiting. Beloved, wealth is not a chase, it is an acceptance. Healing is not a battle, it is a revelation. Supply is not a distant prize, it is a present inheritance. The moment you claim it with your word, the moment you rest in non-resistance, it flows to you in perfect form. Say with me now, "I am wealthy with divine ideas. I am healed with divine life. I am supplied with every good thing. I rest in God's abundance, and it flows through me freely, fearlessly, joyously." And let your whole being resound with this decree. Napoleon Hill wrote that, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." That was not philosophy alone, it was law. Conceive wealth in your thought, believe it in your heart, speak it with your word, and the law of supply must bring it into form. Ella Wheeler Wilcox in her poetry declared, "There is no chance, no destiny, no fate, can circumvent or hinder or control the firm resolve of a determined soul." Such determination is not stress, it is faith. The serene certainty that God's abundance is yours now. Beloved, open your hands, unclench your fists, release your resistance, and receive. For every good thing is already yours. Healing flows like a river. Wealth shines like the morning sun. Supply surrounds you like the air you breathe. The Lord is your shepherd. You shall not want. You shall not lack. You shall not fear. For in his law you are complete. So decree with me once more. I am stress-free, for I live in abundance. I am healed, for I live in divine life. I am supplied, for I live in the kingdom now. And it is so. And it is done. And it is established forever by the law of God. Beloved soul, manifestation is not a distant dream. It is the living reality of the now. You are not waiting for your good. Your good is waiting for you, waiting for the moment when you open the gates with your word. From the beginning, creation has obeyed the word. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Genesis chapter 1:3. The pattern was set from the dawn of time. The word spoken in faith produces instant manifestation, and as he is, so are you in this world. You too speak, and it is so. Stress looks at what is not yet seen and trembles. Faith looks at what is already established in spirit and rejoices. Beloved, stress is the illusion. Manifestation is the reality. You have been deceived into thinking that circumstances control you, but I tell you, your word controls circumstances. Say now, "I am the creator of my world under divine law. I speak, and it appears. I decree, and it is established. I manifest all that is mine by divine right, here and now." Let the decree be strong, certain, unshakable. Beloved, manifestation does not come by strain. It comes by faith and alignment. The acorn does not strive to become an oak. It simply unfolds its destiny. The rose does not labor to bloom. It simply opens to the sun. And you too do not need to stress or strive. You need only to believe, to speak, to open, to allow. Remember the words of Jesus, according to your faith be it unto you, Matthew 9:29. He did not say according to your stress, nor according to your fear, but according to your faith. Faith is the golden key. Thomas Edison saw the light in his vision before the world ever saw it in a bulb. Carnegie saw empires of steel before men saw more than iron ore. Disney saw kingdoms of joy before the land was even cleared. They manifested because they believed, they spoke, they acted in faith. They did not surrender to stress. They surrendered to vision. Beloved, you too hold this same power. The law of manifestation is not reserved for the few. It is the inheritance of every child of God. You are heir to the kingdom. You are heir to abundance. You are heir to peace. Romans 8:17 declares, if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ. This means you are not a beggar at the gate. You are a co-creator at the throne. Stress bows before this truth. Fear flees before this revelation. Say it with me. I am an heir of God. I am a joint heir with Christ. All that the Father has is mine. I manifest peace, wealth, health, and joy now. Beloved, manifestation requires boldness. Do not whisper your decrees. Speak them aloud, as if heaven itself waits upon your word. Speak them daily, speak them hourly, speak them until they are carved into the tablets of your subconscious. And watch as the outer world bends to obey. Carl Jung said that what is unconscious must be made conscious. And I say unto you, what you decree must be made visible. The subconscious obeys the conscious command, and the outer obeys the inner. Therefore, decree only the good, declare only the truth, and manifestation must follow. Beloved, miracles are not rare. They are the natural law of faith. Stress calls them impossible. Faith calls them inevitable. You do not need to beg for a miracle. You need only to align with the law, speak the word, and the miracle is loosed into your world. Jesus said, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Matthew 17:20. Beloved, your mountain of stress, your mountain of lack, your mountain of fear, it will move when you speak the word with faith. Say it boldly now. Every mountain of fear is cast into the sea. Every chain of stress is broken. Every shadow of lack is dissolved. I live in the freedom of God's abundance now. Beloved, manifestation is not in the future. It is now. The law knows no delay. The word knows no failure. Faith knows no defeat. Only stress clings to delay. Only fear whispers of failure. But truth proclaims, now is the accepted time. Now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians 6:2. So rise, beloved. Rise into your destiny. Speak, believe, act, and manifest. For heaven is at your command, and the law is your servant. You are not a slave of stress. You are a master of manifestation. And now, beloved soul, as this river of truth draws to its close, I invite you to step deeper into this path of revelation. If these words have stirred your heart, if this message has brought peace to your spirit, I ask you, subscribe to this channel, that the word may continue to feed your soul daily. Like this video, so that others may be drawn to the light. And share it, that this truth may circle the globe and set many souls free from stress and fear. Leave your testimony, beloved, in the comments below, for your word may be the very spark that lights another's faith. Together, we are weaving a tapestry of light, a global chorus of faith, and every decree, every subscription, every like, every share, is a seed of the kingdom sown into the soil of the world. Beloved, stress is no more, peace is your eternal portion, abundance is your inheritance, healing is your birthright, and manifestation is your present reality. So walk in peace, rest in faith, speak your word, and know forever and always, divine law never fails, and it is so, and it is done, and it is established now and forever. Amen.